Great. Hi, Chris. Thanks so much for meeting with me today. I'd love to hear from you about why this conference and why now.
Well, Michelle, thank you. It's really exciting to see this coming together because over the last 4 years, a number of people in the cooperative sector and particularly the cooperative agriculture sector have been talking about how to better use the cooperative model to meet the needs of farmers, of consumers across British Columbia and further afield. And so we recognize that we have a lot of established cooperatives in the province, many that are operating at a significant scale. We also have a lot of new entrants getting into the market in terms of new cooperatives that are forming, a lot of them by smaller farmers working together to achieve economies of scale, whether that's in their marketing or in their purchasing or even in their land holding to access land at a point where it's increasingly expensive to do so. And so there's a lot of really creative thinking going on right now. And at the same time, as we've been talking to producers in the sector, we realize that people are facing a lot of the same challenges. Cooperatives are a business model, but they're not a business model that a lot of people know about. And they have some unique challenges. So with democratic member control, governance is a huge requirement to understand how does governance impact the well-being. Using cooperatives to assure quality in shipping and receiving, looking at financing, how to achieve financing as a cooperative and what are the requirements that are needed, conflict resolution, and then also new applications of the model in meeting the needs of the producers as they face new challenges and new problems. And we see that in discussions like of data. So as farmers are putting more and more information into apps on their phones, on their computers, and so on, who owns that data? And how can farmers use co-ops as a way of working together and coordinating to recognize the value of that data? So we have some really neat ideas going on right now. And we've tried to convene some conversations of co-ops. And that really leads us to a point now where let's get together, let's talk about these opportunities, let's talk about the issues that we face and what's unique about the cooperative model, and how can we better use that in the agricultural sector to meet the growing needs and challenges that we have in a world that is always going to need food and that has a sector that's really relied on cooperatives for its success at key points over the last century. So where can we take this going forward?
Yeah, it's so exciting to think about who will be convening in the space at this conference and around what subject areas. And the intention is to really have people coming together for deeper conversations and where are the points where we can be collaborating. Just to wrap up, I'm curious what you're most excited about.
I think that last fall in November, when we were experiencing this massive flooding and this extreme and erratic weather going on, that in the conversations that we had for planning this conference, recognizing that the cooperative model is being used in different jurisdictions for emergency planning and community preparedness and resilience and rebuilding after natural disasters. And so we have a session that draws from Australia, from the US, and looking at how different places in different parts of the world have used the cooperative model to build resilience in the agricultural sector in dealing with more and more extreme weather. I'm also excited because we've covered all of those topics, like that we have sessions on governance, we have sessions on financing, we have a session on conflict resolution. We're talking about decolonization in the work that we do, which is really important when we think about agriculture and our relationship to the land. And so we have some big ideas, but we have some really, really amazing presenters. We're talking with people from Italy, we're talking with people from the US, from across Canada, and throughout BC, from the public sector, the private sector, from cooperatives, from government. And so that really brings some voices for learning. I'm just looking forward to what I have to learn because I think we've really built out a conference that says, what do we want to learn? What do we want to figure out? What do we want to create? So that we're not coming together to hear something that we already know, but to really challenge ourselves and come up with new ideas and find some new directions for the sector.